Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another edition of Player Ratings. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the likes, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And it finished Chelsea 2, Servette 0, the first win of the Enzo Maresca era in the Conference League. First game ever in Chelsea's history in the Conference League. And truth be told, guys, it wasn't a great spectacle, but we got the job done in Kunku and Madueke with the goals, and we put ourselves in a commanding position for that second leg. Obviously, there are a number of changes to the team. We saw Jorgensen get his first start. We saw same for Tosin. Same for a lot of players. Badia Shield, the Sassy, Dewsbury Hall, Mudryk, Guiu, Neto. Rotated side, loads of quality in there. Expected a bit more in that first half. Second half, we got the job done, and now it's a slight improvement. But let's dive into these ratings then. Let's start with Philip Jorgensen in goal. People have been waiting to see him in goal. People are fed up with Robert Sanchez. And look, you can't read too much into one performance against Servette, but I thought Jorgensen looked good. And the biggest thing for me was I just didn't feel nervous when he was on the ball. I wasn't even thinking about it in the stands. Oh, God, Jorgensen's on the ball. What's going to happen here? Like I very much am with Sanchez. Look, I think it was fair to say that Jorgensen was probably a bit busier than maybe he expected to be. He made some good saves. Admittedly, most of them were routine, to be honest. Clean sheet's a big bonus, but there will be tougher tests ahead. But he looks a lot more composed. And I'm sorry, even after just one game, I already know he's better than Robert Sanchez. So for me, I'd give Philip Jorgensen a solid 6, I think. Nothing spectacular, but did what he needed to do. And it just brings a calmness, to proceedings, which Sanchez absolutely doesn't have. So I'm giving Philip Jorgensen a 6 out of 10, and he must be the number one. Disasi, obviously playing at right back. He dealt with the Servette threat down that side reasonably well. Solid enough display. We know he's not a right back. I don't really think he's going to be a major part of the Enzo Maresca plans going forward this season. If an offer came in for him, maybe Chelsea would look to sell. This is his first minutes of the season, given he didn't feature in pre-season at all. This was okay. This was okay for me. I'll give him a 5.5, I think, on that one. I'll give him a 5.5. Tosin coming in for his debut. I think he was the most composed centre-back out of him and Badia Shield. I think you can tell he's still settling into the swing of things at Chelsea. He's a work in progress, absolutely, but there's a possibility that he could become a regular starter potentially. The quality's there. I think Maresca likes what he brings to proceedings. He's got a lot to learn still, no doubt about it. But this for an opening outing wasn't that bad at all. He's good in the air, he looks calm on the ball. There's no reason why he couldn't potentially force his way into that first choice starting lineup, particularly given that Colwell and Fofana so far, I know it's early days, haven't exactly lit things up. But for me, I'd give Tosin a 6. Solid debut. Definitely something to build on. Moving on to Badia Shield. He's a bit. I don't really know what's happened to him. He was really good when he first came. Long-term injury towards the end of his first season. And then it's not really been the same since. He got away with a very rogue back pass in the first half, and he looked pretty shaky. He needs to show a lot more composure when he's playing out from the back. If he's going to be trusted in this new system. And quite frankly, I just don't see him getting very many regular minutes under Maresca because of that lack of composure, because of, the amount of individual mistakes that he's making as well. So, that's kind of where I'm at with Badia Shield at the moment. I mean, it wasn't awful last night, but he definitely wasn't as good as Tosin. So I'll probably go with a 5 for Badia Shield. Moving on to Renato Vega, guys. I was impressed, people. First start, first real glimpse people have really had of him to kind of understand what we can maybe expect from this guy. He stepped into midfield really well from that left back position. I think he probably needs to take more risks with his passing. Maybe particularly against, a lesser level of opposition. I thought he could have maybe taken a few more risks on the ball. But, he works hard. He's good on the ball. He defends well. He gives it his all. This was positive, and I think he was probably Chelsea's best defender on the night. And I'm excited to see more of him. Obviously, Cucurella not featuring. We know Cucurella is the first choice, but Vega, if he continues like this, can maybe prove to be a more than capable deputy and could look to be a bargain if he continues to impress and continues to develop. I thought it was Chelsea's best defender on the night. I'd go with a 6.5 out of 10 for Renato Vega. I was quietly impressed with what I saw. Moving on to Moises Caicedo in the midfield. I thought it was a reasonably positive night for him. He captained the side. Maybe you expect more from him in there. He gave the ball away a few times, but I thought it was a largely positive performance from him. He was winning it back. He was trying to make things happen in midfield. Would you say it was a £115 million performance? No, you wouldn't, and you would expect more. Of course you would. And look, he needs to start stamping his influence on matches, but I don't think this was awful by any means. I've seen some people saying he wasn't particularly good. I thought it was okay, to be perfectly honest. I would give him. I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10 as well. I think he was better than average, but there was nothing sort of amazing to shout home about as such. Moving on to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall then. First start, obviously knows this Maresca system. He won the penalty as well, which really helped us. And he tried to make something happen. He was full of energy. He was winning the ball back. He won that penalty, as I said. He definitely looks more comfortable in that more advanced role than he did playing deeper alongside Caicedo. I think Dewsbury-Hall's going to be an important player for Chelsea. Just because he knows the system. And I think there's more quality in him than people realise. But yeah, we need to see more from him. I think we will see more from him over the course of the season. But this was a decent enough performance from him, and I probably give him a 6 out of 10 as well on that front. Moving on to Pedro Neto, Chelsea's new number 7, much better than the old number 7. We can certainly say that. Down the right hand side, I thought he played reasonably well in that first half. A few direct runs, taking players on, putting balls into the box. He showed glimpses of his talent, but again, that final ball, as we saw, needs a bit of working on. And obviously, yeah, he was one of the first to be taken off when Maresca made the changes in the second half. But look, this is literally like a couple games for Neto. Not too much to read into. I think he's going to be a big player for Chelsea, but based on this performance, probably a 6 out of 10 as well for him. Moving forwards to Christopher Nkunku. Really poor in the first half. Let's be perfectly honest. Dreadful in the first half. Wasn't in the game at all. Was a complete passenger, really, like a number of players were. But he won the penalty. He scored the penalty to put Chelsea ahead. And hopefully, Chelsea fans will be hoping, guys, that this goal can give him a bit of a boost heading into the weekend against Wolves, because I'm not sure how well that number 8 role suited him in last night. He struggled at times in the first half. There was more impact and more influence in that second half. And it's going to be interesting to see where Maresca deploys him on Sunday, because I'd be surprised if he didn't start against Wolves. But it was an improved second half compared to his first half performance. But again, nothing too much to shout home about. It was probably maybe a 6.5, maybe slightly better. I'd go with a 6.5. But a lot of players were just slightly better than average, not really an awful lot to write home about with a number of performances. Let's move on to Mykhailo Mudryk then. This guy divides opinion. Whenever Chelsea don't play well, it always seems to be him that gets the most heat. Now, I get it. He was wasteful in that first half. Absolutely. A few loose touches here and there, giving the ball away, not making the right decisions. Maresca giving him a lot of instructions on the touchline in that first half. And look, after the game, Maresca saying, it's not a quality issue of Mudryk. It's a consistency issue. It's a decision-making issue. He too often doesn't make the right decisions when he's got the ball. But he was better in the second half. He was improved in the second half. He's got the pace. The decision-making just leaves you scratching your head constantly, doesn't it? The ability's there, the talent's there, but we can't keep saying this. It has to happen. And this is a make or break season with Esteval and Paez coming in with now, obviously, João Felix here as well. Mudryk is playing for his Chelsea career. He absolutely is. And look, this wasn't the best night, but he was much better than what a lot of people I've seen have made out. I would go with a 5 for Mykhailo Mudryk. Moving on to Mark Guiu then. Works hard, presses from the front. You know, he almost scored after in the opening minutes when he went round the goalkeeper, but he just ran out of pitch. Later on, he obviously missed an open goal. But that was a smart, you know, that came from him pressing the goalkeeper. Is he ready? I don't really know. The chances are he probably could absolutely benefit from a loan move, but you know, let's wait and see on that front. But look, this was by no means awful from Guiu. But you know, we are going to need to see a bit more. But he's 18 years of age. He's playing regular football really for the first time in his career at a senior level. You know, I don't think we can really be expecting an awful lot. But I thought he was reasonably good. You know, pressed well, as I said, he works hard. Created that opportunity that he knows he should have scored by his press. And look, I think a loan would be beneficial, as I said. For a rating wise for Guiu, I'd probably say a 5 as well. I thought he was average, to be perfectly honest. Moving on to some of the substitutes, and I thought Enzo Fernandez played reasonably well. Nice setup for Noni Madueke's goal. Same with Madueke, took his goal really well. Made an impact when he came off the bench, and that's all you can ask for from players coming off. Palmer came off, played in that false 9, didn't really, you know, offer too much in that position, or just too much from that performance in general. Luckily, you know, obviously went down the tunnel at the end of the game holding his thigh, but apparently he's fine. There's no issue there, which is a huge relief. And, you know, Gusto and Lavia came on too late to really get too much of a rating from me. So guys, that's just my thoughts on the game, the player ratings. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. An average night for Chelsea, but a win's a win at the end of the day. We've put ourselves in a commanding position for that second leg, and these cup games are just about winning and getting the job done, and that's what we did. But we need to improve against Wolves on Sunday, and let's hope we can do that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.